not just going to talk about forests here, but places full of mystery, danger, and the supernatural. Beneath the thick leaves, behind the huge trees, and in the midst of the forest's silence, there are secrets that have been hidden for a long time. From creatures that seem unreal to places that feel like they have their own soul. These are stories you wouldn't expect to discover in the middle of the forest. But before that, please like and subscribe first. It means a lot to us content creators. Thank you, and now let's get started. Number 20. The Bluebell Tunnel. In the middle of the dense forests of northwestern New Brunswick, there is an old tunnel that seems to have been forgotten by time, the Bluebell Tunnel. In the early 1900s, this was the train route in the area, but now it is an abandoned tunnel that is slowly being reclaimed by nature. It was built in 1910 and was once a source of pride for the province, but as time passed and it was neglected, the walls started to crack and deteriorate. Some areas have ceiling collapses. When you enter inside, you'll notice the temperature drops immediately, the air changes, and it seems like the sounds from outside disappear. All you can hear is the seemingly sad dripping of water inside. The National Transcontinental Railway, along with this tunnel, was completed in 1912, but just a few decades later, it was closed to trains because of the danger. Now it's visited by those who are interested in the unusual. It's mysterious. You can still see the old tracks and some graffiti that will give you goosebumps. If you want to experience a unique adventure, try stepping into the darkness of Bluebell Tunnel before nature completely swallows all traces of it. Number 18, the Boiling River of Peru. Have you ever heard of a river that literally boils anything that falls into it? In the middle of the Amazon jungle in Peru, a geoscientist named Andres discovered what is called the Boiling River, a unique river with a temperature that reaches up to 186 degrees Fahrenheit. Since childhood, Russo's been hearing stories about this. In 2011, after almost 8 years of searching, he found the mysterious river. It's not related to volcanoes, but it's as hot as if it comes from deep within the earth. All the small animals that accidentally fall in here are instantly cooked. Because of this, Russo established the Boiling River Project, a nonprofit organization aimed at protecting the river, the forest, and the indigenous communities around it. But as deforestation gets closer, the risk of this mysterious river disappearing completely also grows. Number 17, Zombie Fungus. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. There really is a mushroom in the forest that can turn ants into zombies. It's called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, a strange fungus found in tropical forests. When it infects an ant, it slowly changes its behavior and way of thinking. The mushroom forces the ant to leave its colony and look for the perfect place where it will die. In the ideal spot for the fungus, the ant will cling to a leaf using its jaws. And while it's still alive, the fungus will drain its energy. Eventually, a terrifying stalk will grow out of the ant's head. This is where new spores will come from to infect others. It sounds like a sci-fi story, but it's real. It's proof that behind the beauty of the forest, there are things that nature itself can control. Number 16, walking among trees. Trees that know how to walk. It's not just animals that move in the forest, even trees do. In the rainforests of Central and South America, there's a type of tree called the walking palm. This isn't just any ordinary plant because there are stories that say it can actually walk inside the forest. According to some forest guides, when something blocks its growth, like a fallen tree, it slowly grows new roots in another direction. In this way, it's as if the tree is walking its own path away from the obstacles. This was proposed by the scientist John H. Badley in 1980. There is still no clear evidence that trees literally walk, but it continues to be studied. Others believe that its unusual roots only help it stay stable in wet or soft soil. But if you want an answer, then go walk in the forest and challenge it. Race against the tree. Number 15. A stinky parasite, the flower that smells like a corpse. Not all flowers are fragrant. The Rafflesia arnoldi, which can only be found in the forests of Southeast Asia, is a type of parasitic plant known for being the largest and smelliest in the world. If you're not familiar, this is the blood-red flower that smells like rotting flesh. It starts as a microscopic seed that burrows inside another plant. When it comes to life, it appears like a golf ball that slowly grows until it looks like a cabbage. And when it's fully bloomed, the monstrous flower emerges. But aside from the smell, the Rafflesia is also in danger. Because of the continuous destruction of forests, it is slowly disappearing. It's still unclear how it effectively reproduces. So while they're still alive, you're lucky if you get to see one in person. Number 14, North Sentinel Island, the tribe that knows nothing about the world. Almost no one is allowed on North Sentinel Island, located off South Andaman, India. On this island lives the Sentinelese, the most isolated tribe in the world. They do not accept visitors, and even the Indian government is prohibited from approaching them. According to aerial surveys, their population is estimated to be only around 50 to 100. They have no modern technology, no agriculture. They survive through fishing, hunting, and gathering plants. There are old reports, like those of Marco Polo, claiming that this tribe are cannibals, but there is no clear evidence. Currently, the law prohibits contact with them to preserve their culture and way of life. They are the true example of living in ancient times, quiet, isolated, and completely unaware of what is happening outside their island. Number 13, the photo bird, a bird that looks like a branch. And it's a bit scary, so don't wander around the forests of South and Central America at night if you have a weak heart, because you might suddenly be stared at by a pair of glaring eyes from a tree. Most likely that's a photo bird. The potu is a bird that's not easy to spot because it can mimic the appearance of a dead branch. During the day, it's almost impossible to notice it while it's perched still and with its eyes closed on a branch. But at night, it suddenly becomes a living ghost with bright orange eyes and a strange call that sounds like it's straight out of a horror movie. Potus are monogamous. They have only one partner for life. They eat insects like moths and grasshoppers. It is not yet endangered, but its habitat is being put at risk due to ongoing deforestation in the rainforests. It would be a shame if this bird, which always seems ready to appear in our horror content, disappears. Number 12, mushroom mayhem. The pink mushroom that appears sinister. Deep in Queensland's wet tropics, Australia, a strange mushroom is both cute and creepy. This is called the bristly tropical cup. Just by its appearance, it looks like a pink alien, shaped like a cup with white hairs on the edges. But it's not just the outside that's creepy. On a microscopic level, what's happening is even more disturbing. Its spores or seeds, when ripe, shoot out as soon as they fill up with water. It's like a biological landmine just waiting for the right moment to explode. Although it's not deadly to humans, the appearance and behavior of this mushroom are enough to give you a sleepless night. But for fungi enthusiasts, this mushroom is like a celebrity. There are people who are so obsessed with mushrooms that even if they're creepy, they're still inspired to study them. Number 11, the biggest, darkest cave, the hidden world beneath the rocks. In the heart of Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park in Vietnam, there is a cave that almost no one knows about, the Sun Dong Cave, the largest cave in the whole world. This is not just an ordinary cave, but a whole ecosystem with its own light, clouds, and rainforest inside. It was discovered in 1991 by a local farmer, but he forgot the exact location. That's why it was only rediscovered in 2008. Since then, expeditions have continued. Inside, there are stalagmites as big as buildings, an underground river, and a secret rainforest they call the Garden of Eden. They say there are even endangered species living here, like another planet that hasn't been discovered yet. If you're looking for a place that seems straight out of a sci-fi movie, this is it. But if you're afraid of the dark, maybe you'll just settle for pictures. Number 10, the lost city in the sky. The ancient city built on top of a rock. In Sri Lanka, Sigiriya, also known as Lion Rock, is a mysterious city that rises into the clouds. It stands at almost 350 meters above sea level. Imagine, there's actually a city on top of a rock this high. It was built in the 5th century during the time of King Kasapa. There are palaces, gardens, water pools, and amazing murals. At the base of the rock, there are carvings of lion's paws, which is why it's called Lion Rock. But the lion's head has disappeared over time. The city was abandoned for a long time and only monks remain. It was rediscovered by Europeans in the early 1800s. In 1982, it was declared a United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site. Until now, it remains a mystery how it was built at such a height using only ancient technology. It's proof that even back then, people already had impressive engineering skills. Number 9. The abandoned Russian house, once home to a soldier left behind and overtaken by loneliness. There's a house in a remote part of Russia that was discovered by urban explorers. At first glance, it looks like just an ordinary abandoned house. But as they explored further, they discovered that every corner of this house had a story to tell. The last person who lived here was said to be a former soldier, and it seemed like he lived alone during the last years of his life. His belongings were left behind, photos and personal items that made it feel like time had stopped. There were military medals, old uniforms, and letters that were never sent. It was like a time capsule opened at the wrong time, a place filled with sadness, memories, and unanswered questions. This isn't a haunted house from a movie, but the real ghost here is the memory of a person who seems to have been forgotten by the world. Number 8, the depths of El Mirador, the ancient pyramid buried by the jungle. In the dense forests of the Petén region in Guatemala, there's a mountain that's not actually natural. It's actually an ancient pyramid. It's called La Danta. It's part of the El Mirador complex of the ancient Mayan civilization. It was built more than 2,000 years ago, and it's estimated to be over 72 meters tall. That's even taller than most of the pyramids in Egypt. But because of the thick vegetation and old stones, you can hardly notice that there's actually a city here. According to some explorers, the place has a unique energy. It's like there's a guardian you can't see but you can feel. As you climb the old stairs, it's as if someone is whispering in the wind. Memories of a people long gone. Number 7, the satanic leaf gecko, the devil's leaf of Madagascar. In Madagascar's forests, a creature resembling a legendary monster exists, the satanic leaf-tailed gecko. It looks like a dry leaf, but it's actually a fierce hunter at night. Its tail is shaped like a dry leaf. It has spots and cracks that make it look like a real decaying leaf. It uses this as perfect camouflage to avoid predators and catch its prey. When cornered, it suddenly opens its mouth wide, screams loudly, and sticks out its red tongue as if it's possessed. It's a master of deception, and no one can easily spot it in the forest, even if you're just a few meters away. Number 6, the monster turtle of the Amazon, the Mata Mata turtle. In the Amazon's shallow, murky rivers, this creature resembles something from a dream. The Mata Mata turtle. It's not just an ordinary turtle. Its appearance is intimidating, like a mix of a dinosaur, a crocodile, and tree bark. It has wrinkled skin and decorations on its neck that look like warts. But the creepiest part is its nose, which looks like a snorkel, and its wide-open mouth. It's ready to suck in its prey in an instant. It doesn't have sharp eyesight, so it relies on the vibrations in the water to locate its prey. From October to December, females lay eggs in the forest, as if following an ancient ritual, like the beings of old. The incubation period is over 200 days before hatching. Number 5. The glowing glass frog lives in the dark forests of Costa Rica, Panama, and Ecuador and has visible insides. There is a frog that looks like it's made of glass, the reticulated glass frog. Under the moonlight, its skin glistens. And yes, you can see its internal organs. Its belly is transparent, so you can actually see its heart, liver, and intestines. But it's not just its appearance that's amazing. It's also a fierce warrior at night. The males guard their territory and their eggs on the leaves. When a predator like a wasp comes near, they don't back down. They kick it away. The mystery is, scientists still don't know why this frog has this kind of skin. But one theory is that it's to deceive predators. Because it looks like a cluster of eggs, predators don't notice it right away. Male glass frogs are very protective of their territories. They are ready to duel using their feet just to defend the leaves where they lay their eggs. If someone tries to cause trouble, they immediately make a strange sound. It's like a creepy call that warns anyone who comes near. And if the enemy still doesn't back down, a wrestling match will happen in the middle of the darkness. But the most mysterious thing of all is their natural camouflage. There's a pattern on the frog's back that looks like a cluster of eggs. It's a trick against predators. They think there's nothing for them to eat. It turns out they're still alive and ready to jump into the darkness. Until now, scientists are still puzzled as to why they look like this. But one thing is clear. In the jungle, it's not just animals that use deception. Even frogs have their own way to survive. Number 4, the Nazi lair. A light in the darkness at the heart of the jungle. In a remote part of the forest in Argentina, archaeologists discovered what seemed to be a meeting place for a forgotten nightmare from history. Ruins of what is believed to be a Nazi hideout. The place was found inside Tejo Quarry Park, near the border of Paraguay. Here, experts discovered the remains of a building with signs of German origin, such as Nazi coins and plates marked "Made in Germany." According to researchers, these facilities were possibly built as a hideout for Nazi officials in case they lost World War II. According to records, it was former president of Argentina, Juan Perón, who opened the door for fleeing Nazis after the war. Today, the place is not only a historical memory, but also a reminder of the secrets that may still be hidden, even after several decades have passed. Number 3, the jungle city of Angkor, the lost kingdom swallowed by the jungle. In the midst of the dense forests of Southeast Asia, there lies a magnificent city that seems to have come straight out of legend, Angkor. This was the Khmer Empire's center from the 9th to 15th century. One of the most famous sites here is Angkor Wat, a temple known not only for its vastness and beautiful architecture, but also for its deep spiritual significance to the locals. Aside from being a United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site, since 1982 Angkor has temples, traditional medicine schools, and ceremonial grounds that are still used today. As tourism grows, conservation becomes more challenging. That's why there are laws and groups assigned to protect the site. Angkor is proof that even though time has passed, the memory of a great civilization never fades. 2. The lost Nazi city in the jungle. The city built for evil but never became part of history. There was more than one Nazi hideout in Latin America. In other parts of the jungle, there were also buildings constructed to serve as hideouts for Nazi leaders in case they lost the war. Although it's unclear if these were actually used, the presence of buildings, equipment, and evidence of Nazi memorabilia proves that they planned to build a shadow empire under the world's radar. Because of the support of some leaders in South America back then, many Nazis found a new life in places like this. That's why the abandoned buildings now seem to stand as ghosts of a history that almost continued in the silence of the forest. Bonus entry number 1, the whispering vines of Thailand vines that seem to have a mind of their own. In a remote part of the Thai rainforest, there are reports of a strange type of plant that the locals call the whispering vines. According to legends, if you pass through the forest at dusk, you will supposedly hear the whispering of these vines. Some hikers report feeling intense paranoia, dizziness, and strange sensations, as if someone is whispering their name or speaking an unfamiliar language. Even hallucinations after being near many of these vines. Although there is no scientific explanation yet, some blame airborne spores or naturally occurring chemicals that could possibly affect the brain. But for the locals, they say it's a warning that there are spirits in the forest, and not all plants are just ordinary. Bonus entry 2, the jungle phone, that rang a phone with no line that calls no one. In 2015, a group of environmental researchers in a part of the Amazon rainforest found an old, rusty, and worn-out landline phone booth. In the middle of the forest, no electricity, no phone line. What's even creepier, some members of the group said it rang just once, a clear ringing in the middle of the silence of the forest. They said there was no cell phone signal in the area. They couldn't tell if it was just a prank or some kind of social experiment, but they didn't see anything that showed there were other people around. When the researchers returned after a few months, the booth was gone. It was as if it was never part of the forest. Until now, the phone that called to no one remains a mystery. Bonus entry 3, the silent drums of Congo. The drums of the forest with no one playing. In the middle of the Congo forest, several tribes have long held beliefs about the drums of Congo. On certain nights each year, loud drums can supposedly be heard playing from distant parts of the forest. Even though there are no people, expeditions that tried to follow the sound would get lost, feel anxious, or sometimes never return. According to the locals, these are said to be the spirits of ancient warriors who are still guarding their land. There are some audio recordings submitted by explorers, but no one can really explain where the sound is coming from, especially since there's no signal, no speakers, and no access to technology in that place. Up to now, it's still unknown who is really playing, or if they should even be disturbed.